Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. And let me recognize our friends from the World Food Program and from our partners from the United Nations and other partners who are here this morning, also our staff and volunteers from the Food and Supplies Relief Committee. Just to add to, I'll be very brief this morning, but just to add to what Ambassador Henderson has already said, in terms of containers that we've received on the port so far, we've received a number of donations, over 40 containers we have received with mixed supplies to include food, water, building material. I would like to take this opportunity to call out a few of these donors. We've had the Eastern Caribbean group of companies from St. Vincent with flour, milk, water, juice. The Prime Minister's Office, St. Lucia, the government of St. Lucia. We've also received a few containers from Banks, Barbados, juice, drinks, malts, water. We've also received supplies from Harris Paints, Barbados, from Guyana, Carnival Cruise Lines in particular, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, the Manufacturers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. We've also received from the Barbados dairy industry, Pine Hill in particular. We'd really like to shout them out this morning, juice, milk. We really appreciate these donations, and they have come in rather large quantities that we've been able to distribute throughout the island. We've also received donations, as I have said last week, of food supplies from Trinidad, Barbados, Grenada, St. Lucia, the United States of America, the United Kingdom. Pretty much all of the islands of the Caribbean have been there for us. And this morning I wanted to take the opportunity to just call out a few of them specifically and thank everyone who has been contributing so far. In addition to the containers that we've received, we have received a number of mixed pallets that have been packed with love. I would like to say again, our staff at the Dexia packing shed, I would really like to thank them. They have had the job of sorting out all of the mixed supplies that we've gotten. So we've actually received care packages that are mixed. You can see that someone sent a special package with peas and rice and milk that they would like to send to a particular family. No name, of course, but we've had the task of sorting out all of these, arranging them by crates, having all of the tuna, all of the canned foods, all of the flour. It's quite a job, it's quite a task, it takes all day, but we've been able to, from your very small donations to your very large donations, been able to package relief supplies for every community in Dominica. In addition, this week we've also, and you will hear from the World Food Program, received about 376 tons of food from the World Food Program, which they are distributing this week, and they will, metric tons, yes, and they will be continuing distribution this week, and will explain their method of distribution. We are currently offloading supplies from the government of Cuba, and we would really like to thank them for that. We have received over 305 tons of supplies, to include 48 tons of food, and the rest of it would be building materials and other supplies. In addition, as I have said at previous briefings, to make up for the gap in the donation of relief supplies, government has also been procuring food on a weekly basis, both from local suppliers and also from regional suppliers. And we have been also distributing this food throughout the island. The other thing I would like to look at this morning is the method of distribution. I know that we've had a number of concerns, and Ambassador Henderson has alluded to some of them. And of course, Mr. Joseph, thank you for the point that you made with regard to the distribution at the community level. But we have been utilizing the census for our distribution. We ascertain the number of households per community utilizing the census. We have also been utilizing the health district data, which also includes the number of households, number of children, number of adults per household. And utilizing this data, we pack or we distribute in bulk per community on a weekly basis. We've been trying to keep a weekly schedule. In some cases, based on the availability of supply, we've been able to do distribution between 7 to 9 days as the schedule. But we are working on that and improving the process. As far as accountability is concerned, we've created a new form that we've distributed to all of the communities, and we are requesting that those forms are filled out with the names of the individual, the size of the households, and also each person who receives a package of relief supplies should sign indicating that they have received such. So we are receiving again these forms from the communities, and from that we are able to mine the data to determine the number of households who have actually received and the individuals who have received from each of the households. I would like to underscore what was said earlier, and I have said it at previous briefings, that the committees that are responsible for distribution of relief supplies should ensure that they look out for the vulnerable in the community, the elderly, the children, the women with children, individuals who may not be able to come to a distribution center. And also, we just want to ensure that everyone is taken care of. I would also like to mention as well that we've found over the last few days, in terms of the feedback that we've been receiving. I have been all the way to Bruce and to Good Hope, and I had the opportunity to look at the distribution in process. We've had members of our team who have traveled around the island with the WFP team to observe what has been happening, to observe the distribution centers, and we do have a combination of methods. Different methods are working for different communities based on the type of community, based on the resources that they have. So in some areas we have distribution centers, and the individuals in these communities are aware of where the distribution centers are. The WFP is working with some of these communities to establish a distribution center that individuals can go to. In other cases, communities have felt that it is probably more efficient to package the supplies and do house-to-house deliveries. So we've had a combination of distribution centers and house-to-house deliveries within the communities. I've been in touch personally, and as well as other members of our team, with the individuals who have been coordinating the relief supplies over the last few days, and I really like to take this opportunity to thank all of those volunteers, all of the public officers who have been assisting with the process. We will continue with the WFP to continue these site visits. We've also held meetings with groups of communities and the individuals who are coordinating the relief supplies. We recently had a meeting in Newtown with all of the individuals from that area, and the feedback was very useful. We've already spoken about the port operations, but just to add that we really do not have a backlog of food items. Of course, we are also receiving other items to include building material, and that is being processed to the relevant ministry. I can say on average our turnover for receipt of supplies and distribution of supplies has been about 2 to 3 days. Our staff at the Dexia Packing Shed, the staff at the Dexia Multipurpose Pack House in Portsmouth, and the other teams around the island have done a remarkable job in receiving, offloading, packing, sorting, distributing, loading on trucks, and taking to communities. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the Jamaica Defense Force, who has for the last week assisted us with the distribution of relief supplies. They have been working. We have about 8 members of the Jamaican Defense Force who have been working with us at the Dexia Multipurpose Packing House, and they've assisted with loading, packing, sorting, and also they've gone out to the communities to distribute supplies as well, particularly around Roseau area, Lower Goodwill, Tarish Pit, and some of these areas in the neighboring community. So I did say I wanted to be brief this morning, but I really wanted to be here to say that we have a number of volunteers, a number of individuals who are working hard to ensure that supplies are distributed to the communities. Of course, we've had the hotline, and as I said at the previous briefing, the hotline has been useful. We've been able to get feedback on a daily basis. I do have to say I have not heard from the hotline operators for a few days, although I just saw a call from one of them. But it does mean, it means to us that we have been addressing some of the concerns that have been raised through the hotline, and we will continue to do so as long as we are responsible for this. Again, we would just like to ensure that at the level of the community that there is a certain level of organization. We would like to ensure that the community leaders have all of the households, the number of individuals per household, and that information will assist us in the distribution process. So again, thank you very much to our team, and thank you very much to our partners, and we wish everyone well. Thank you.